Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and I'd like to welcome you guys from all over the country and all over the world. Thank you so much for joining me and Tom, who is just off screen right now, here working all the controls for you. It is great to see all of you. We have been so busy. We've been moving things and building furniture and painting walls and setting up in our new location, getting ready for our staff to make the move to come over to our new location. So it's been crazy. I'm a little tired tonight, and I feel like I look tired tonight. No, you don't think? No. That's because you're tired and you're not seeing clearly. That's why I look good. Stay tired, my friend. Stay tired. So all weekend, I'll tell you what, I was part of two events. I was part of the Scrapbook and Cards Today Crop and Create Delivered, which was an amazing event. They did a whole online virtual event, and I taught a class on a new product that we have coming out at the end of April. And all the participants of the class got this kit for free. So we have something coming out at the end of April for you guys, and I'm really excited about it. I also did a demo at my friend Jen Shirkus. She has a thing that she does. I think she used to do it twice a year, but maybe it was once a year, called Crop on the Cape. And that was always an in-person event. And she did a virtual event this time, and I was able to do a demo for that event too. So a couple people had found out that I was teaching classes all weekend and going live. And people were asking me, well, how do I get in on that? How do I know about those events? So I'm going to encourage you to go over to our website and sign up for our newsletter. And if you can't find the link there, but you're on Facebook, you can go to our Facebook group and read the announcements. It's in one of the announcements, the link where you can sign up for our newsletter. Because anytime I do a virtual class or even in-person classes, once that starts up again, we add those into our newsletter so you guys know about them and you guys can sign up and attend. So that was so much fun. I had a great weekend, but boy, were we busy too, because we were running back and forth through all of that. Now tonight, I wanted to also tell you guys, and then we'll get right into the project. I know this is a little long, but I wanted to let you guys know that starting tomorrow, today was the last day that we were shipping orders, and they got every order out that was in the system, I think, from the time they got in this morning. So, we're shutting down shipping now just for a couple of days while we move all of that equipment and all of our picking area and shelving units and everything into the new location and setting it up. And then picking and shipping will begin in our new location. So I want you guys to just know that, so you have a little patience with us. I still think it's going to be way faster than a release, because our releases sometimes can take, 14 to 17 business days. And this is just a matter of moving, getting set up, and we'll get a team going right away. So have a little bit of patience with us. Our phone lines get switched over to the new location on Friday. So if you call from a certain time on Thursday to a certain time on Friday, it might be in limbo and you might get a weird message. So just send an email if you have a customer service issue anytime on Thursday or Friday. Debbie will be in her new office and she will be able to send emails out. Okay. So enough cleanup, enough housekeeping business, right? Let's get to it. So tonight I decided that I wanted to do something with this stamp set from the kit. This is this beautiful Easter set. And let me get the name of this set. This is called Easter Blessings. And I just love these. These are daffodils, right, Tom? Daffodils? Oh, he's looking at me like I'm not a gardener. I planted a bunch of these and they're already starting to come up. So these beautiful daffodils, if you are a colorist, you're going to do these things so much justice. And I've seen so many beautiful cards that you've made. But you guys know that I color for fun. I'm not that great at it. And sometimes I just want to make a quick card. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to make a clean and simple card using this stamp set with a little bit of embossing so you can see just how pretty this is, even if you don't want to go through all the trouble of coloring. And I saw a question, how come I didn't do a live last Thursday? Well, last Thursday we needed to set up furniture so our computers could get installed on Friday. So I apologize for that, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do this Thursday. I'm a little in limbo because I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm keeping all my fingers and toes and everything else crossed. Okay, so let's get started with this. Now I'm going to show you one little detail too that I think that you're going to like. And I'm going to use something that you guys have been asking me to use for a long time, and I haven't used it in a long time. I'm going to use ivory cardstock. Now I want to show you the difference between our white cardstock and our ivory cardstock. So here is a piece of white. This is the Gina K Designs white, and this is our ivory. Can you see the difference? It's just ever so slightly kind of softer. I mean, I would almost call it a vanilla because it is not real yellow like some ivories, and it's not real dark. In fact, if you just saw it sitting there, you might even think it was white, but when you see it next to white, you can tell that it is an ivory. It's a bit softer. So our ivory is one of my favorite colors of cardstock that I never seem to use. So I got to use it more. Okay, so we're going to do two different versions of this card. We're going to do one that's straight up and down, a vertical style card like this. And then we're going to do a horizontal one, and we're going to expand a little bit on these daffodils. So this is a big stamp, and I haven't used it from this package yet. This is my sample set. So I'm going to place this right up about here, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to pick that up with the Door of the Misty. Then I'm going to use my embossing magic pad. Oh, some of your daffodils are coming up already, Heidi. Now ours here are not coming up yet, except just a little green sprig, because honestly, just last week we had snow all over the ground. So I know they're an early spring flower, but I think Wisconsin, we're just behind all of you guys anywhere south. So I'm going to use some Versamark ink. You can use any embossing ink that you want to use. And I'm going to ink this up really well. So I'm trying to check out the comments and seeing how you guys are all doing. Yeah, moving is difficult. You are so right, Carol. Moving is crazy. And this is our 6th move with our business. We have moved this business. How's your back, Tom? And Tom has single-handedly lifted every single thing. But it's our 6th move, and hopefully our final move. I'm using my Chucky tool. For those of you that are new here this evening, my Chucky tool is a tool made, and we do have a lot of new people here, I think. Chucky tool is made by my friend Chuck Meadows. He made this with a curtain finial and a furniture protector pad. He glued them together with some Gorilla Glue, and it makes it really easy to make sure that you get enough pressure on your Misty. Okay, so we had the original Chucky tool here, Tom. We have a lot of original things here at Gina K Designs. Okay, so now I have like little pieces of die cuts in here. I don't know if you can see, I have a little turquoise die cut piece in there. That's all right. So this is a bigger design, so I am going to do this over a piece of cardstock. But I love doing this technique. Sometimes I see these images that I love because I have lots of, aspirations to color. And I do color, and I like to color. I'm not great at it, but I love to color. But sometimes when I'm a little bit overwhelmed and I need to make something fast, sometimes I look at these images and I think, I don't have time. I just don't have time.
Chuck Meadows wants to know what a Chucky tool is.
Chuck, how you doing, Chuck? Thank you so much. You have revolutionized the way people use their Misty stamping tool because of that thing that you made me. And it's good to see you here. Okay, so now I am going to heat this up. Oops, I had to put it down. I have to blow away a little bit of that. And if you get any little bits and pieces of anything where you don't want it, you can take just a tiny paintbrush and just brush those away before you actually emboss. Because if you don't brush them away before you emboss, you're going to be using your mono sand eraser to try to sand them off afterwards. So it's easier to brush than it is to sand. That's for sure. That's for sure. Chuck, look at all the love you're getting from everybody in the comments. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, Chuck, but I'm seeing comments from both Facebook and YouTube where people are saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your great invention. My Chucky tool was a life changer. Yes, yes, me too. All right, so here I go. I'm embossing. Nothing looks as pretty as gold embossing powder on ivory cardstock. Oh, this is gorgeous. I know I'm going off the camera a little bit. I'm doing that on purpose because I'm trying not to heat up my MISTI. I'll just go higher up here. Make sure it's all embossed. You see those little areas when you turn it a certain way, you can see where you didn't get it. Now look how pretty that image is, just gold embossed. Yes, this is gold embossing powder. And it's our Gina K Designs fine detail embossing powder. So I think that makes a difference. Yes. Okay. So let me find my tidy towel here. I'm going to clean this image with my tidy towel, even though I tend to use a toothbrush and a little bit of dish detergent to get Versamark off of my stamps. I'm going to take this off of here for now. I'm hoping we get to the second card. Maybe if I was just a little quieter and I would just stamp, we would get it done. But I got to stop and talk every 5 minutes. Okay, so I think we should cut this out with a die. And I think we're going to use Master Layouts 1. So this is Master Layouts 2. Let me find one in my thing over here. This is a big image, so I think Master Layouts 1 is going to be my best bet. Okay. Yeah, see, it's even going to cut a little bit of it off, but not much. I think that will be good. Okay, so let me get my die cutting machine. I'm going to use my Spellbinders machine. And I will zoom out just a bit so I am not so close so that you can see this a little bit better. Oh, it's so good to see all of you guys here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome, welcome. I still see people coming in. Now I want to get this right, so I'm going to use a little purple tape on this. So I'm going to purple tape this down. Everybody's saying hi to Chuck. Oh, Chuck, see what you did? Everybody loves you, Chuck. But no one more than me. All right, so I'm going to put this up here like that. So I have a little bit of space above, and then I want to make sure that I have enough room for my greeting down here at the bottom. And I think I'm going to use Happy Easter. And that looks like it's good. Okay. So, yep, I taped it down this time. Oh, there we go. Crack, crack. Oh, we got a troll. Goodbye, sir, ma'am. Whoever you are. Okay, so you can see my plates are getting very dirty again. But somebody told me that they soaked them in a pan and then they scrubbed them really well, like with a toothbrush, and they got all that comes from everything that's kind of stuck in this plate. All my black little pieces from, you know me, everything I cut is black. All right, so there's my card. Now I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to cut another ivory one in the same. Let's see here. Let me get a piece of ivory cardstock. Here's a piece. I'm going to cut this. Now, I used the smaller of the two dies in Master Layouts 1. Now I'm going to use the larger of the two dies. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here, because I want my embossing to match perfectly. Did you see that almost happen? Just didn't cut it right. Okay. I want my embossing, I want my edges of my cardstock to match my embossing powder perfectly. So I've cut that out and I will clean that up. Sorry, it's dirty. And then I'm going to put this machine aside. We're going to use it again. But let me get it out of the way. Okay. So I wish I had a longer sleeve tonight. I don't have a long enough sleeve. I was trying to go with the 3/4 sleeve look. And that bit me in the butt. Okay, let me grab an older piece of craft cardstock here. Now, what I'm going to do here, and I know some of you know how to do this already, but it's always fun to be reminded of these things because I don't always think of them, and then I'll use something that doesn't really match and be a little disappointed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Versamark pad. Let's zoom in a bit. Oh, Phyllis, you ran your plates through your dishwasher? I'm going to try that tonight. So what I'm doing here is I am pressing Versamark right into the edges of my cardstock. And I'm going right around the whole thing. Okay. This is a great way to make sure that your embossing powder and your cardstock match perfectly. Now, we do have a gold cardstock, and it's a beautiful gold cardstock, but it's not exactly the same color. So if you are a person that wants exactly the same color, this is a great little tip for you. Okay, so let me find this again. Now I'm going to go around, and I'm just going to add this embossing powder right to the perimeter. And I'm holding it in the center. You don't have to worry about what it looks like because you're going to cover most of that up. In fact, you probably didn't need quite this much embossing, but you know, better safe than sorry, right? Maybe if I changed my mind and I wanted to make my center panel a little smaller, it would be good to have this much embossing. So we'll go with the positives here. Okay. You can always go back and add more if you need more. Okay. All right. Trying to make it work. Let's go ahead and emboss that now. And I just love this look, and the coordination is so beautiful. It also gives the cardstock a very interesting texture. Because it's a fine detail powder, it doesn't swell up as much, so you get a little bit more texture out of it. Now, this is definitely one of those times where you can't really use a clothespin because you don't want to ruin the edges. So just hold it in the center and kind of angle your gun away from your fingers, if that makes sense. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. That is so pretty. Okay. Now we're going to give that a second to just cool because we don't want to touch it or we'll end up putting I'll get my fingerprints in there and probably burn them off too. Okay. Now we are going to add the greeting. So again, I'm feeling like I need the Misty tonight. So I'm going to put the Misty in here, or the cardstock in the Misty, and tack it down with the magnet. And then I decided to use this greeting. I love the way this looks, this Happy Easter. That's a Scripty, very similar to our Scripty sayings, and I love that look. Also, Easter blessings would be very pretty here, but I'm going to go with the Happy Easter. So once again, this is going to be embossed as well. Everything is getting embossed here. So that was my embossing magic pad. And then I'm going to place it there. It's brand new, so it's sticking to me a little bit. I just have to make sure that happy is straight. Looks pretty straight. Could go over just a hair. Why not? Okay, this is too much perfection here. Just put it down. Just let go. You can do it. There. Okay. I did it. All right. Again, with some Versamark ink, I'm going to ink it up real well. It's the first time I'm using this stamp. I know, I love the Scripty Greetings. We have 4 different Scripty Greetings. I think we might have 5 now. And then there are some Scripty Greetings in some of our medium-sized stamp sets like these. So they're fun. They're just so elegant. They always look good. Okay, and now we'll do the same. Get a little gold on there. Oh, that's so pretty. Let's get rid of this. Just blow away the excess. And we will emboss. This looks like the conversation has turned to the vaccine, and a lot of you guys are getting it. That's great. Yay. I can't wait to get mine. I heard that my group might open up as early as March 22nd. Isn't that like now? So I'm hoping to get a call. Because honestly, I want to see you guys. I'm just tired of not seeing you. And I want to see you. I want to go somewhere and do a class or do an event or something and get to see you guys in real life. Although this is fun. I'm glad that we have this, because this means so much to me. I look so forward to seeing you guys twice a week. Makes me sad if we have something else going on. Okay, so now let's do a little elegant thing here. What I'm going to do is, and this is pretty just like this, but I feel like it needs something in between to separate the top from the bottom. Plus, I really want to establish a line going across the bottom of these flowers. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to line this up near a line. So this is the 4-inch line right here. Just going to slide it down a little bit, and I'm just going to make a line. Okay, that's pretty close. Now I'm just going to go down a little bit more because I feel like it's not close enough. There we go. Okay, so now that tells me where it is, but I really want the line to come toward the front. I want to be able to feel the line. So I'm going to flip it over, and I can see where my line is. I think you guys can see that, right? Can they see that, Tom? When I hold it like that?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to find a spot where there's 2 skinny lines together. And I'm going to do the first one. I'm going to do that a couple times because I really want to make sure that comes out on the front. And then I'm going to do the one right next to it. And hopefully, look at that. Isn't that pretty? That just kind of finishes it off. It gives it a little something, and it separates the 2 areas. So I really like that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add this panel onto this that we created. And it always looks better on white. You can see the gold embossing better. Isn't that pretty the way that all matches? So nice. All right, I'm going to use my adhesive for this. And I am going to use a little extra adhesive because there's a lot of embossing going on here. And when you emboss, sometimes you warp. I warp anyway. And we're going to lay that right on top, get it in position. It's that nice little, that's less than 1/8 of an inch. That's like a 1/16 of an inch border. And then we're going to put that onto our ivory top fold card. Okay. You following everything, Tom? Anything I should know about? Nothing? Okay.
No,
I'm doing good?
seeing it.
I'm seeing it? Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing it. All righty. So there is my finished card. Isn't that simple and pretty? And you don't have to do any coloring. I love that. And I do so much with bright colors all the time. I know, Diane, no black, right? I went with all gold. But I think I like this look for Easter, especially because so much of Easter is pastels, and pastels are beautiful. But imagine how your card will stand out just a little bit when you send it with all of this gold embossing. And it's still very soft. So you can certainly, you can certainly do this same layout for a Christmas card. It would be beautiful. Or if you don't celebrate Easter, you could use this for a sympathy card. It would be such an elegant sympathy design, or a birthday card, or a thank you card. So anything. Yeah, it's nice to have those options. That's right. Okay, so I think Jan just asked me, how do I line them up so perfectly? Well, I just stamped it. And I didn't worry if it was a little crooked on the cardstock. And then I lined up the die to cut it so it was straight. So that's kind of my little, my trick there. Okay, so let's do one more. Let me find my paper cutter that's hiding away. I've got another piece of ivory here. And I'm going to cut another quarter sheet. So if you're new to card making, most of our cards are A2 size, which means that they are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but they're actually 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and then we fold them in half to make them the 4 1/4. But I'm just cutting a quarter sheet of cardstock to get started here. So for this card, I am going to get my MISTI again, and this time I'm going to stamp this so that it's at the bottom. So I want it to appear as though it's growing up from the card. And actually, I think I will start right in the center like this. And then again, so even if this is a little crooked like that, you're not going to really notice that too much. But if you use the lines on the MISTI, you can kind of follow that to make sure that it's straight. So let's see here. I think that this could be a really nice get well card. Maybe we'll do something a little bit different for anybody out there that doesn't celebrate Easter. That's okay. We don't want to leave you out of tonight's live. So we'll make this one a get well card. Because, of course, now everybody's getting colds because it's the spring and the flu and all that other stuff. So there's still reasons, lots of reasons to want to have a couple get well cards ready to go. So again, I'm using my Versamark pad for this. And I'm going to stamp that, Chuck, my Chucky tool. Let's see here. Your sentiments are wavy. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in just a minute. If you have trouble, because I usually say something about that, but I didn't this time. So I will say something about it. All right. There we go. So I like the look of them just coming out from the bottom of the card. Nobody knows this stamp could be that long. We don't know, right? Just looks like I decided to stamp the top. This watercolor brush, this very expensive watercolor brush, has come in so handy. Not for watercolor, but for dusting away dust. All right, so we're going to emboss this first. I feel like there might be just a little bit more powder that could be put up here at the top. Yeah, see that? But you see this? This is where I touched the cardstock. That's why I like using the embossing magic pad, because I have lotion on my hands. So where I touched the card, I left a mark. And yes, I am greasy. I'm oily. Can't help it. Move this out of the way. There we go. You end up always redoing your embossing, Lori. Does it work better the second time? Because if it works better the second time, maybe you just have to heat up your embossing tool a little bit before you do it. Or maybe you have to stamp the image just a couple times first to really get enough embossing ink on it. Sometimes those are the problems. But I feel you. Okay. That looks good. All right. So now I think I want to use the Master Layouts 2 instead of the 1 this time. But I'm not sure if I'm going to. I have to see how it lays out against this because it should be okay. Oh, yeah, that's going to look good. That'll look nice. So this die from Master Layouts 2 is a little bit smaller. It's got the stitching. You see, I still got some embossing powder on there. And if you do that, make sure you pick yourself up one of these little mono sand erasers. This eraser is amazing. It's an eraser, but it's got really fine sand in it. So it almost acts like a fine sandpaper and allows you to get off surface smudges, like if you get a little smudge of ink somewhere. It's also great if you get some stray foil when you're foiling and if you get stray embossing powder. So that's a great little tool to have in your toolbox. Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Rosie. I'll mention that too. If you guys are watching over here on YouTube and you'd like to give this video a thumbs up, what that does is it saves the video into your liked videos, and then you'll be able to find it very easily if you want to go back and watch the video later. So if you can like the video, it certainly helps my channel. And if you subscribe and you hit the notification bell on my channel, you'll never miss another video because you'll get notified as soon as I go live or as soon as I post something in my YouTube stories, or if I post one of those little YouTube short videos, you'll always get notifications of anything that's new. Okay, so we're going to put this right here. And I'm just going to wing it and take a chance. I'm not going to tape anything down. So everybody hold your breath with me. Ready? Here we go. All right. Here we go. Ugh. Yes, old embossing powder can get old. So thank you for bringing that up. And if you're having trouble over and over again with your embossing powder and it's just not working well, it just may have been sitting around too long in your stamp room. And, you know, embossing powder, I know it's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive either. And it just might be time to ditch it and get a new jar. Okay, so you can see the little delicate stitching there. I really like that look too. Okay. So no score lines on this one. We're just going to put a greeting on there. Oh, I probably should cut out my other piece. I think I have one here. Let's see if this one is cut out the same way. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the other Master Layouts ivory piece. I gotta do it. It's gotta be right, because if I don't, you know, if I don't do it, it won't be right. Okay, so there we go. So this is the coordinating die to this one where it gives you that nice little shadow layer. And we're going to do another gold one. I love the gold. Try it with silver too. And also try doing this on dark cardstock, you know, dark cranberry or a navy, because you get a spectacular result that way as well. I saw a question, Anne, what makes a embossing powder get old? I think what happens to it is I think it dries out too much. I think there's a little bit of moisture in embossing powder. In fact, when you get a new jar of embossing powder, sometimes it even looks a little clumpy. That's because there's a little bit of moisture in it. And so, you know, when you're using it, you'll see parts of it that might be a little bit clumpy. And then when it gets old, it just gets like dehydrated. And I know that seems weird because it's not a liquid, but it doesn't take much for it to change. Okay, so we're going to go back to this again. And we're going to add our Versamark around the edges. Yeah, I like in what I think is that it needs to be a little bit more humid for embossing powder. But I could be totally wrong. That's just, I live in a humid climate up here in Wisconsin. In the summer, it's very humid. We have the lake, so there's a lot of, it feels kind of sticky, a lot of humidity. And then in the winter, we just dry out. I mean, we are so dry. You should see us. Our lips are all cracked. Our hands are all cracked. We are such an attractive bunch. And that's when I noticed that my embossing powder doesn't work as well. It seems to work better in the summer. So I'm assuming that more humidity is better, but I could be off, and I'm not a chemist. I'm a card maker. So if somebody knows better, you can go ahead and correct me. All right, so I'm doing the same thing again. I'm edging my cardstock with Versamark and embossing powder so I can have my nice shadow layer match my image perfectly. And welcome, welcome. I think there's some new people joining us tonight. First time here on the live that I got to meet at the Scrapbooking Cards Today event, and also at Jen's Crop on the Cape event. So I'm so glad to have you here, and welcome to our fun crew. These are the nicest people in any comment section anywhere that you'll find. The people that are watching, they are so helpful. They help each other. They help me. They fix me when I'm forgetting things. And I am forever grateful for every single one of them. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to go around the outside. Okay. So if you're having any trouble, Vicki, with your glitz, I would reach out to ThermoWeb because they have tips and tricks. I'm not sure of all the things that they say to do, but I know some people have mixed a little warm water with it. Other people have used clear Elmer's glue to revive it. But they have more tips and tricks, so I would definitely reach out to them. See my little boo-boo here? I'm going to just put a little right there to do that little corner. There we go. Yeah, it's sort of my line. It's my line with ThermoWeb, but ThermoWeb is the manufacturer and the producer of those products. So they seem to have some really, really great tips and tricks to get that going. You do have to make sure that you cap your glitz really tight. And what some people even do is they put a little piece of saran wrap inside, like over the glitz before they close it, and that seems to help. I use my glitz up really fast. So I haven't experienced any drying out because I really use it. Like I get a jar and then I make all kinds of cards with it, and I don't have a whole lot of it left over. I don't think some of those products like embossing pastes and glitter gels are meant to like be saved for a long time. I think they're meant to be used. And, I know that there's so many techniques that it's hard to just stick with one technique for a really long time. So I feel you. All right, so I'm going to straighten this out a little bit, and we're going to turn this into a little get well card. So I've got this get well soon. I can put that right up here. I think I'll put it right there. There's also happy spring, and hello friend would be really cute there. But I'm going to make a get well card. Now, one of you a little bit earlier, and I'm sure you weren't the only one, other people have this same situation where they're long images, especially ones like this. There are better days ahead. This is a long image. When you're trying to put it on your MISTI or you're trying to put it on your acrylic block, it gets all twisty. So my tip for that is to lay it on its front so that you can read it. So it's image side down where I can read there are better days ahead. And just let it take its natural shape. Then pick it up with your acrylic block, and then it's not going to be all wavy. If I try to put this on my acrylic block myself, you can just see it's bowed. It's just kind of bowed. It's just hard to do. Same with the MISTI. Put the image down, let it kind of relax and take its natural shape, and then pick it up with the door of the MISTI. So that's my little tip for that. Okay, so we're going to do Get Well Soon here. And again, because I've been touching this like crazy, I'm using the Embossing Magic Pad. Xena Color. I don't know what Xena Color is, Debbie. They don't say watercolor or wax. Well, you know, my guess is if they don't say watercolor, they're probably wax. So I definitely think you could use Gamsol with it. If they are watercolor and you use Gamsol with it, it'll still work. It's just the thing about Gamsol is, you know, you don't really need Gamsol as the liquid for watercolor because it works with water. So, but you can always, I mean, I would like look up their website because I don't know where you bought them. Did you say you bought them on Amazon and you thought you were getting Prismacolor and you ended up with something different? I mean, you could always go right, like Google their brand name and see if, you know, if that brand comes up and see what it says about them. Okay. So I am using some Versamark here on my greeting. All right. And we're going to stamp that. Hopefully that was good. I didn't use my Chucky tool, so now I'm all nervous. If it's not good, I might brush it off and do it again. Oh, no, it's good. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay. Well, Glitz Glitter Gel is a gel that has glitter in it, and you use it with stencils to create, like instead of ink blending in there, you spread the glitter gel into the stencil, and it creates a beautiful result. So if you haven't seen that, go over to my YouTube channel and type in the search Gina K Glitz Glitter Gel, and videos will come up like crazy. I've done lots of videos with them. No, you don't need to use press and seal, Kathleen. You can just use any kind of saran wrap, you know, any kind of plastic wrap. Okay. That embossed very quickly. So isn't that pretty? It's just elegant and soft. I love it. Alrighty. So I want you guys to know that once we move into our new location, we've got at least double the storage space. And that means we can order lots and lots and lots more product than we normally order. So you're going to start to see less out of stock items, which I think is going to make a lot of you guys very happy. Yeah, I'm going to recommend that you go to ThermoWeb's website and buy the Glitz Glitter Gel. I don't know that we're going to continue to carry it in our store because it's just as easy to get it directly from ThermoWeb. So we have all the stencils, we have spatulas, we have things like that, but you can head over to ThermoWeb and you can get it right over there. All right. You can also get it from your local stores. A lot of the local craft stores have it. Of course, the big online stores like Simon Says Stamp, they have it. And lots of our stores internationally carry it because ThermoWeb ships internationally as well. Okay. So, yeah, I don't have all the dates for when products are coming back in stock. I'm really sorry. That's not, I'd have to look. You'd probably get a better answer from customer service on that. They have their finger on that pulse a little bit better than I do. Okay. And I like the smaller, like the larger frame around the outside with this technique too. So what do you think of that card? Isn't that pretty? Yeah. And here's the first one that I made in case you guys are just joining us. So 2 different layouts, 2 different ways to use this. And I think that that is really fun. So those are my finished cards. We got done a little early tonight. I expected this to take so much longer. All right, well, let's see. I see a lot of questions there, Tom. Do you want me to answer any of the questions? Let's see. You can put my face back on the screen. Hello. Okay, so I did see a couple of you guys were asking questions. There are other things that you can use other than Gamsol if you're worried about the Gamsol. There's one thing that I really like, and this is called Lavender Spike Oil. So this is all natural, and I believe that they carry this overseas as well. I got this at a art supply store. I think I got this one at Blick. And it works just as well as Gamsol. So if you're a little bit apprehensive with the Gamsol because it is a chemical, the lavender spike oil, not spritz oil, you don't want to spritz it, works just as well. So, all right. There's something else too called Zest It. And I think that's a UK product, and that's made from oranges, and that works well too. So, okay, let me see here. Can you use plain colored pencils for scrapbooking or use products you were saying about for oil-based pencils? Yes, I have, and I haven't had any problems. You know, I don't know about 50 years down the line if that's going to do anything. But the thing about these kinds of products is they evaporate. So once they're evaporated, there's nothing left other than your colored pencil on there. Betty, we are still trying to get the white ribbon. I believe that ThermoWeb is going to continue to carry the white ribbon with the gold and with the silver. So we will be getting more of that in once we move to our new location. Okay. So let's see. I'm getting tiny. Thank you. I've lost 26 pounds so far on my, my new lifestyle plan. Could I say something about kit membership? Well, we don't have a membership yet for our kits, but when we move into our new location, we are definitely planning on doing some subscription plans. And what that would be is you would sign up for a period of time, and that would mean that you would get your kit automatically shipped prior to us releasing it to the general public. If you don't like the idea of signing up for kits that you haven't even seen yet, you're still going to be able to buy them as single kits. But if you become part of our subscription plan, they will automatically ship and you'll be locked into a certain period of time. You guys know my kits. And if you like all my kits and you've liked, you know, what we've come up with, then it's kind of a no-brainer to do a subscription kit. And they will be different than our big kits. We're going to have a couple different types of subscriptions. So I'm excited to roll some of that out for you later this summer. Okay. Gamsol is an artist grade odorless mineral spirits, and I work in my craft room and I don't have, you know, windows open or anything, and I can't even smell it. It really hasn't caused a problem for me, and I've been using it for a long time. Jackie, where do you find our newsletter? You can head over to GinaKDesigns.com, and if you signed out, I think when you get in there, a pop-up comes up and asks you if you want to be part of our newsletter. But if you're on Facebook, go to our Facebook group, Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends, and click on the announcements tab. There is one of the announcements is sign up for our newsletter, and you can do it right there on Facebook as well. All right. We are going to see if we can do an overseas subscription as well. No, our big kits won't be subscription. Our big kits, people like to really pick and choose because they're not, I mean, they're on the more expensive side because they're $59.95. So they won't be on a subscription plan. But because of all the new space that we have, we're going to be able to order much more inventory. So we're less likely to run out. Now, this kit here with the cards that I just did, I mean, we released this kit a couple of weeks ago. We still have them in stock. So, you know, we have expanded how many we buy. So hopefully we're hitting the right number. That's our goal. Okay. So let's see. I'm having trouble getting the center to meet my paper. I use the Chucky tool, eraser, and my hands. Nothing works. Any suggestions? Okay. So if you're having trouble getting the center of an image to stamp, I'm going to, if you're using a MISTI, yeah, I mean, I know that there are some stamping platforms out there that just don't seem to have the same flexibility as the MISTI. And what I mean by that is the MISTI, the door of the MISTI is very flexible. It it bends. Like if I show you it this way, maybe you could see it this way. Can you see this? It bends. See it curving? It bends. So but there are some stamping platforms out there on the market that this lid is thicker and it doesn't give. So, I mean, I would almost say maybe get your stamp all lined up, put it on the floor and just press your foot on it and give it a little bit of pressure in the center and see if that works for you. But if it's just one stamp that you're having trouble with, maybe it's the stamp. It could be defective. Or you may not be getting enough ink on that stamp. So try double inking it, try stamping it 2 or 3 times, try putting it on the floor and putting a little bit of your body pressure on it. And then also make sure you're using something like the Misty that has that very flexible lid. Because if the lid is too rigid, it's not going to give in the center and the stamp isn't going to reach the paper. So hopefully some of those tips and tricks will help. Okay, the kit tonight, the kit that we're using is the Forever Flowers kit. Oh, that's glary. But this is the one I've been using all month, and I've made lots of cards with this kit. You can see just a couple of them that I've made. This one, I know that might be a little bit bright. Let's flip the camera and let them see. These are some of the cards that I've made with this kit. If you don't have this kit yet, there is another card, but I don't know where it went. Yeah, I don't know where the other card went. I might have sent it to somebody, honestly. I think I did. I think I sent it to somebody. Oops. I want to start doing that too. Oh, here's one. This one. I love this one. That's such a fun one. All from the same kit, all of these. So there's so many styles. There's this kind of boho feeling set that's kind of lacy. It looks very much like lace. The lacy flowers, and then you've got the Forever Flowers. You've got these 2 huge dies in here, and then you've got this Easter set. So it's a fun kit. Okay, well, I have a quote tonight, so I'm going to tell you this quote. So I don't know if you guys feel like I feel sometimes, but there's a lot of days where I wake up with self-doubt. I'm just not 100% sure that I'm doing all the right things. I'm nervous because I'm making a lot of big decisions for my company. And a lot of the things are really exciting, but then some of the things are sad because I'm going to miss all our friends that used to come to our retail store. So, you just wake up in the morning and you think, oh my goodness, am I doing the right thing? I wonder sometimes. And so I love this little saying. So I'm going to read it to you because I found it and I'll share it in the Facebook group too. There are days, maybe weeks and months when it feels like you're never going to move forward, when you doubt yourself because you can't see any progress. But the truth is, if you're waking up every day and you're doing the hard, beautiful, necessary work of living and learning, you are growing. It's impossible not to. So keep going. So I hope that maybe that resonated with some of you tonight. If you're just not feeling like your progress is getting there, we're all in that same boat certain days. So just remember, if you're waking up and you're learning and you're living, you're moving forward. All right, you guys. Well, I am going to try my very best. I can't make 1,000% promise, but I'm going to try my very best to be back here on Thursday for a lunchtime live, unless some really crazy stuff happens and I need to be at the new location. Big equipment gets moved in or something and somebody needs me there to yell. You got to have that person, right? But if I don't see you on Thursday, I will be back next Monday. But either way, I love you all so very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Just, happy stamping, happy crafting. The spring is coming. Better days ahead. Love you all so much. And I'll see you again real soon. Mwah. Bye-bye.